can murder a liberator, but you can't murder liberation. You can murder a revolutionary, but you can't murder revolution. And you can murder a freedom fighter, but you can't murder freedom.
You're tapped in, so let's get right to it. Hakeem Jeffries, he's back in front of the cameras again, spewing a lot of more of the same BS he's been spewing, as he continued to tell the people these lies and not come through or, fulfill promises made. If he's not doing that, he's taking money from the AIPAC, that's for sure. But what's even, we're more sure of the fact that he hasn't done nothing for his constituents. He does nothing for the Black community. And that's a double whammy. That's a double strike against him, if you ask me. But here he is at another press conference talking about how upset he is with what went down with SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States. Well, I don't know what they thought was going to happen, especially since most of them aren't doing their jobs. What did they think the Republicans were going to do? You see a kink in the armor. You see where you have this political party that's not adding up or doing the things it's supposed to do for its constituents. Well, of course, they're going to go after them. It only makes sense. The Republican Party recognizes that the Democratic Party, they want to say all this stuff about the Republican Party and MAGA and all that. Not a big fan either, but look at the Democratic Party. Look at all the corruption in the Democratic Party. Look at the BS in the Democratic Party coming out to the constituents of the Democratic Party. Look how they treat the people. The Democratic Party would rather send Israel money for bombs, planes, health care, rather than spending those tens of billions of dollars right here in the United States, where that money could be of some real use to some people who really need it. And I tell you what, they need way more than the Israeli government. The Israeli government created the mess it's in, and for whatever reason, they were have been able to not only fool and convince Donald Trump to do their bidding, but they do the Democrats the same way. They fool them to do their bidding, while the American people get the ass end of the stick. Enough of this BS, man. Hakeem Jeffries should be ran out of politics. Him, along with a few others, quite a few in the Democratic Party. And you people want change in the Democratic Party? I'm going to tell you something. The only way you're going to get that is to clear that party out. Get rid of them. Each and every one of them need to go find another job. Most of them are rich right now anyway. They're already rich, so they haven't done the work of the people. So what's the use of having them? The longer we allow them to stay in politics, the richer they'll get. That'll be the only outcome. They keep parading Kamala Harris in front of us, Hakeem Jeffries, Cory Booker, and others. Chuck Schumer. None of these individuals give one flying flick about their constituents or the citizens of this country. If any of them are willing to send billions of dollars to Israel for wars, for genocide, what does that tell any of you? Come on, chase these people out of Capitol Hill, out of these political, these places of political power, these state assemblies, these House of Representatives. Get rid of these people. That's the only way. Start a new scorch earth program. Hey, light a fire under all of them. Get them out. Chase them all out of politics. From the mayors to the governors to senators and Congress people, representatives, they are all corrupt. And they have the audacity to talk about what Trump's doing. That is what we see happening in politics. It happens with the Democrats as much as it does with the Republicans. It's the same game. It's the same game. Like MAGA supporters are feeling the bite of Trump's policies. They were thinking they wouldn't, wasn't nothing going to happen to them. They would come out of this thing unscathed. It's not the case. Trump, to his base, MAGA, or those, conservative Republicans, he does the same to them as Democrats do to their constituents. It's the same game. When are we going to learn? And then to keep using these same corrupt people in the hopes that, or upon their promises that they'll bring something new and different to the table is insane. It's insane. Blacks are already underrepresented, in politics. It's a fact. But we want to continue to bring these people into politics who aren't going to do any more than is what already isn't been done for Black people. Kamala Harris is not the choice. Hakeem Jeffries is not the choice. Cory Booker is not the choice. And a few others, a lot of them actually. It's time for new blood in politics. And like I said, they're all rich already anyway. They're all rich already. So come on. Come on, for real. Kamala Harris had $1 billion and ended up 20 million in the hole. At least that's what they say. You people are seriously thinking about, come on. Hakeem Jeffries, he'll tell the people a lie just as easy as he breathes. Oh, I'm not going to involve myself with the AIPAC anymore. I'm not going to take any more PAC money. That's a lie. Don't believe him. Now, when asked about funding Israel, he says, oh, well, we're not going to fund any kind of wars. We're not going to fund that. But what they're going to do is fund that. Every time a bill comes in there, anything that has to do with Israel, they're all going to vote for that bill, for that thing to pass. All the while, they're still providing weaponry, machines of war to kill off Palestinians and other Arabs, Middle Easterns. There's no concern or consideration for those people. It's always where Israel has a right to exist. What about the people who've already been there? What about them? What about this thing of occupying their land? What about them? What about their children? Now, see, here's the thing. You have to know that they could care less about any of those people over there, including the children. Now, if you got to that conclusion, then you have to be able to tell yourself the truth about what they think about the people here and the children in this country. Come on, man. Don't buy into this stuff from these people. This is a grift. Politics is a hustle. It's a hustle. Most who go to school, they understand, let's get into political science because it pays. Or medicine, pharmaceutical type, it pays. It pays. Hakeem Jeffries is not one of us. Cory Booker is not one of us. These guys are rich. They're rich. They're just trying to get richer. They want another 4 years. They want to be rich. They want more of the bag. They don't want to see the people do any good. They don't want to see that, the people in this country evolve, improve, become more prosperous. The citizens benefit just as well as the rich. That's not their interest. Their interest is getting as much money as they possibly can. And again, a lot of people actually go to school to learn political science so they can get into politics. A lot of them go into law so they can get into politics. A lot of these people are lawyers and things like that, you know, prosecutors and all kind of things. These people don't care about the people. They care about themselves, their bank accounts. Don't be fooled, you guys. Don't be fooled. I got something on Hakeem. You know, again, he got his face like, quite a few of them. They always have their face in front of someone's camera telling another story or two while the people continue to suffer. And I tell you, it's always the same lines. They're always the same lines, you know? Mix it up a little bit, but you know, in essence, everything they say or have said has been repeated. They repeat it. Don't get caught up. So I got a clip. I want to bring this clip in here. Wait a minute. Before I do, I got a little something on Mr. Jeffries. Got a little something on Mr. Jeffries. Let's deal with this one first. So, Mr. Jeffries, now he wanted to get in front of the cameras. He wanted to talk about, oh, Donald Trump has done this thing. It's evil. It's not right. It's disenfranchising the black vote. Da, 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 da. Right? All along, though, Hakeem Jeffries is supporting a regime, again, that is murdering people. They're using the tools of war to decimate people, run them off their land, killing children, things of that nature. These same people, Hakeem Jeffries, he has supported them for a very, 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 very long time. He was rubbing elbows with these people while he was in Oxford. He has a history with them. He is their friend. He support them, trust in them, and do more for them than he support, trust, and do for the people of this country, but especially his own. That's a fact. All right. Now, there's some issues evolving around Jeffries in terms of the AIPAC. All right. That's the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. I think that's one, but that's not the only one. The only lobby who had, giving him money. It's not the only one. Hakeem has received over $5 million from these people, and I can't tell you how many, in the span of years, but I bet you, he has a permanent check coming from these people, But anyway, so, in terms of navigating fractures over Israel and the AIPAC's lobbies, the fraction over the party refusing to help its constituents over outside funding highlights a deeper, ongoing fracture within the Democratic coalition. And this is the part they don't really get. See, they think they can do that and neglect the people, but attack Donald Trump and what he's doing. Get the same thing. He's neglecting the people as well. But I don't know what gives them, the moral, the audacity to sit up and talk about Trump doing something that's the opposite of what he should be doing for the people when they do it themselves. It makes no sense. The pot calling the kettle black, that's crazy. But anyway, so he don't understand, and the Democratic Party don't understand why there's this fracture, why the people or their so-called constituents are displeased, dissatisfied with him. We're ready to see you guys go. That should be the only avenue we take. It's not to vote them again or vote them back in office to do another term. That would be a mistake. That would be a huge mistake on our part. Okay. But anyway, the grassroots progressive organizers have voiced immense frustration with the DNC. All right. And this is crazy. I got a whole lot on the DNC. They're part of this problem. They are the problem. All right. But anyway, the DNC, immense frustration that the DNC and congressional leadership has spent significant capital protecting moderate incumbents aligned with groups like the AIPAC, while failing to protect frontline progressive districts and Black voters from gerrymandering. Jeffries' sudden pivot to a raw, aggressive, fight the system stance is an attempt to unify a fractured party, signaling to progressive that leadership is taking structural threats to their actual voter base seriously. I doubt that seriously that is exactly what's happening. But again, there's a whole lot with Jeffries going on, and we're not even the wiser. We're not the wiser. Now, Jeffries isn't the only problem in the DNC. Excuse me. There's also the DNC chairman, Ken Martin, and the vice chairman, who is, I think, last name is Kenyatta. All right, Malcolm Kenyatta. He's the first openly LGBTQ, colored person. All right. The problem is the DNC as a whole. It's not these separate politicians, senators and representatives, people like, no, it's the whole party. It's the whole party that's the problem, So they do what the party, directives do. The party directives tell them how to get out, and that's what they do. The DNC, the Democratic Party, is corrupt. All right, just put it like that. I have a clip. I want to bring this clip in, man, and this is Jeffries talking a lot of that same BS he talks, acting like he's just, outraged because of Trump's act. Trump did this his first term, and Jeffrey sat back the same way he's sitting back now and talked a lot of crap, didn't do nothing about it. Same attitude. Again, same empty words and promises. But here's this clip. Before we do, please like, share, follow, and subscribe to Tap the Art of Political Discourse. Again, you guys' support means a great deal to us. We thank and appreciate you for it, all right? Let's get this clip in here. This is what we call in our community a bullshitter. This is a bullshitter right here.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Look at it.
Donald Trump has made clear that he and the Republican Party don't give a damn about the personal finances of the American.
I got to stop you there because already he started on the wrong foot. He just said Donald Trump and the Republican Party don't give a damn. He said about the people, correct? What do you call what he does if they're willing to send every year, $33 billion goes to Israel. They write all kind of separate checks as well. But anytime these guys are willing to go and send money to another country that has its own money, has a healthcare system, all that, takes care of its citizens, rather than do that here, he don't give a damn about his constituents. Come on.
American people. It's an extraordinary admission. But the reality of the Trump presidency and Republican control of the House and the Senate.
Listen, his whole continence. I'm black. I'm gonna tell you something. This is a con artist. This is a con artist right here, people.
Has regularly made that very point. Because under the presidency of Donald Trump and Republican control in Congress, the economy is a disaster. Costs haven't gone down, costs have gone up, and it's a direct result of Republican policies. The Trump tariffs have increased costs on everyday Americans by thousands of dollars per year. At the same period of time, Donald Trump's reckless and costly war of choice, where billions of taxpayer dollars are being wasted, has resulted in life becoming more expensive.
What did he call sending money to Israel in the billions of dollars, taxpayers' money? What did he call that? If it's taxpayers' money and it's not used on the taxpayer, if it's not relocated, recycled back into society to the people to do something for the people that the people need done for them, what do you call that? If that money goes over there and we see none of it, and yet we continue to pay taxes, and those taxes pile up, you know where that money goes? It goes right over there. Every year, Israel gets $33 billion. And that, that's just one sum. Now, in addition to that, they get all kind of other billions for all kind of other things. He has a hand in that. But he's pointing the finger at Trump. Yeah, Trump need fingers pointed at him. But he's doing the same thing. Same thing.
For the American people, particularly as it relates to the dramatic increase in gas prices. In the Trump Republican economy, inflation is at a 3 or 4 year high.
I'm trying to pay off your loan.
Stop calling me. You sound like a psycho. I swear to God.
He sounds.
The cost of groceries is out of control. Gas is out of control. Goods are out of control. Housing prices are out of control. And the Republican assault on the health care of the American people has ripped away the ability of millions of everyday Americans to be able to go see a doctor when they need one.
Now, if anyone ever gets the opportunity to ask this guy a question, ask him about Israel's health care, about the health care for those Jewish people over there. Then ask him why does he sign off and others sign off on sending money to Israel for health care that they provide for their citizens already. Make it make sense. And again, listen, this is nothing but a deflection. Everything Jeffries is saying about Trump, he does. Hakeem Jeffries does those same exact things.
Donald Trump and Republicans promised to love and cherish Medicaid. They turned around and enacted their one big ugly bill, which is the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. And as a result, hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health centers closing all across the country, particularly in rural America. The economy is a disaster, and we know why. It's because Donald Trump and Republicans don't give a damn about the personal finances of the American people. Donald Trump said it, and he meant it.
I tell you again, people, you just have to know better. You got to see, the wolf in sheep's clothing. You just got to see him. He's right there.
Questions?
Please, somebody hit him with a good one.
Republicans are ahead of Democrats in terms of fundraising for this cycle, but you spent $60 million in Virginia here. Do you think that was $60 million well spent? Is that going to impede your efforts to spend money in key races this fall?
Yeah, the House Majority PAC actually outraised for the first time the Congressional Leadership Fund, as you may know, in the last quarter. For the first time ever, the House Majority PAC outraised the Congressional Leadership Fund, the crooks, the liars, and the frauds. That's what it stands for. Because at the end of the day, here's what we do know. Republicans have concluded that they need to cheat to win. That's what they're celebrating? Is that what you're elevating right now? The notion that 4 unelected judges would overturn the votes of more than 3 million citizens in Virginia? Is this what Republicans are celebrating right now? Because the people in Virginia right now are outraged. They're angry and they're determined to send a message in November, regardless of what ultimately happens before the Supreme Court of the United States of America, where that reckless decision by the Virginia Supreme Court is now on appeal. But what's been made clear, our resolve is more robust now than it ever was. Because it's clear Republicans can't defend their policies. They can't defend their failure on the economy. They can't defend this reckless and costly war of choice. They can't defend the fact that they've ripped healthcare away from millions of Americans.
Well, the reason why actually also that Trump felt confident in just going to war with Iran the way he did was because most of you Democrats felt the same way about Iran as Israel does. And you knew there was no nuclear weapon being produced. You knew this. As I'm sure you know that what America is doing is okay with you guys because the great, that plan that Israel has, it is to have hegemony over that whole area. You guys know this. You guys know this. You know this all too well. And again, you knew Iran didn't have any nuclear weapons. That's like, Saddam Hussein didn't have weapons of mass destruction. Who told that lie to the Congress? Who told this lie right here about Iran being weeks away, days or weeks away from a nuclear weapon? Same person. Look, you guys, we got to get past this BS. Politics is a game, but it's only being played so that those who are in the arena of politics can get money. It's a grift. Do a little surface stuff, they look, and they'll highlight that little bit of stuff they do. But nothing major is being done as a result of them as political parties or as representatives of the constituents that they're supposed to look out for. Nothing is being done. You want to talk about what Trump is doing, blah, blah. Hey, man, you had homeless when Biden was president. You had people with mental health issues when Biden was president. You still had high prices when Biden was president. Come on, guys. Let's not fall for this crap.
They can't defend the fact that they're stealing food from the mouths of hungry children, seniors, and veterans. And so we're not going to unilaterally disarm. Not now, not ever. And this redistricting war is just getting started.
Well,
$60 million off the field here. I mean, you can't put that genie back in the bottle.
We spent $60 million. They spent over $40 million. The people of Virginia were very clear. Money's not going to be a problem for us.
But it's a problem for the everyday citizen, the average citizen. Money's a problem for the everyday average American citizen. That is a problem for us. What you guys tell me what you think. I think that Hakeem Jeffries is a grifter. He's a con artist. All right. And there are others just like him. All right. Now, couple that with the fact that we have a lot of people who are, supporters of these people who actually have the same thing in mind. Their agenda is to get as much money as they can as well. I think that the people should not be misled or convinced that they need to go to the polls to vote these people back in office. That's what I think. And then for those of you who might say, well, wait a minute, that happened in this, that's how Trump's president. Somebody said, okay, don't vote for Kamala, blah, 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 and look at what happened, hey, look, my take on this is this: Donald Trump is going to be president regardless. All right. But to say that, okay, take the lesser of the two evils. It's still the people putting themselves into the frying pan. You mean to tell me that we can only go or get these people who've been in politics a very, very, very long time and who are rich to represent us? Where's the everyday Joe? Where's the average Joe and Jane? Where's Jonathan and Julia? Where are those people who actually know the pulse of the community because they come from it? They're in it every day. Where are they as our politicians, our representatives? These people don't understand what the majority of us are going through. They have no idea. Don't fall for it. And don't vote for people just because you don't like somebody else. And it would be the same thing. It would be the same thing. So there's this detriment because of Trump, the people. And here's the thing. It isn't just Democrats who are suffering. It's the whole country. It would be the same if the shoe was on the other foot. For anyone to think different, all you got to do is just think about past presidents and all the stuff, the lies and the stories they told, the wars they fought, in the dark, the people in the country who went without, who suffered. Yeah. Come on. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. In any respect, whatever your thoughts are, drop them in the comments. We like to read those thoughts, whether you agree or disagree. Is anything or anybody better than Trump? Even these old politicians who are, super rich, they're trying to be rich like Trump, they're chasing the bag. Even those politicians that support what is taking place in the Middle East, is that okay? Is that okay? If you think so, put that in the comments. Let's have that discussion, okay? Until then, take care of yourselves and one another.
You can murder a liberator, but you can't murder liberation. You can murder a revolutionary, but you can't murder revolution. And you can murder a freedom fighter, but you can't murder freedom.